Hello friends, welcome to our channel. I am Ashish and in this video I'll tell you about the various mechanisms that are employed by body to regulate the blood pressure within the normal range. So the whole video is divided into three parts according to the mechanism employed by body. So in the very first video, the one you are watching, we're discussing about the rapid acting mechanism that is employed by body to regulate the blood pressure. In the upcoming videos, we will discuss about the intermediate acting and the long-term acting blood pressure regulation mechanism. So let's start with the introduction and let's see what are the various mechanisms employed in the body. So what is the blood pressure? So let's first start with the definition of blood pressure. It is the pressure exerted by the column of blood. Exerted by the column of blood on the arterial wall. So this is the lateral pressure exerted by the blood on the walls of the arteries. So we have divided the mechanism for the sake of study into three parts. The three mechanisms then employed by the body to regulate the blood pressure are the slow acting, fast acting and intermediate acting blood pressure regulation mechanism. So these are rapidly acting, intermediate acting, and slow acting. Slow acting is also called the long-term regulation mechanism. Long-term regulation mechanism. And rapidly acting is also called short-term regulation mechanism. So the blood pressure regulation is divided into three parts: rapidly acting, intermediate acting and slow acting. The short term regulating mechanism is also called the rapidly acting and slow acting is also called the long term regulation of the blood pressure. So when it comes in your examination, usually it is asked as a long question, so you have to describe or the whole answer into different parts. So first you have the heading of the blood pressure and tell about the various mechanisms that are employed. So we have got several subheadings in the under the each heading. So rapidly acting mechanism involves three types of mechanism or three types of structures that are involved in the rapidly acting. They are the baroreceptors. Second are the chemoreceptors, and third is the CNS ischemic response. So we have three mechanisms under the heading of the rapidly acting: baroreceptors, chemoreceptors and the CNS ischemic response, which is also called the last ditch stand. By the end of the video you will be able to know why it is called so. So CNS ischemic response is also called the last ditch stand. Intermittent acting we have two types. They are the capillary fluid shift. So this is a capillary fluid shift. The second one is the stress relaxation and reverse stress relaxation. So the second is the stress relaxation and reverse stress relaxation. So we have capillary fluid shift, then we have stress relaxation and reverse stress relaxation. Under the long term we have the kidney mechanism, kidney regulation or renin angiotensin mechanism. I hope you are quite aware of the long term or the slow acting mechanism of the blood pressure from the previous videos that have discussed on physiology. So let's start with the rapidly acting mechanism or the short term regulating mechanism of the blood pressure. So first we'll discuss about the baroreceptors, and so we'll discussing each under the heading: the range of operation they work, where the location, and what is the mechanism of the action of the each of them with the help of a flow chart. So we're not going to discuss in a theory part. First we're going to summarize all the things with the help of the flow chart, and I'll explain how each of the mechanism works. Start with the baroreceptor mechanism. So the range of change of the blood pressure they work is under the range of the 60 to 200 millimeter of mercury. So they work between when the pressure ranges from 60 to 200. Chemoreceptors work from 40 to 100 millimeter of mercury, and the CNS ischemic response works when the pressure falls to very low, that is around 15 to 50 millimeter of mercury. You can see how tremendously the pressure decreases when the CNS ischemic response works. So that's why it is called the last ditch stand. So this is the last short-term regulatory mechanism employed by body to maintain the blood pressure under the normal range. So let's start with the baroreceptors. So where is the location of the baroreceptors? They are located in the aortic and the carotid sinus. So their location is aortic and carotid sinus. Chemoreceptors are present in the aortic and carotid body. Aortic and carotid body. And the CNS ischemic response, as the name suggests, the regulatory mechanisms are present in the different parts of the central nervous system. So first let's see how the afferent passes from the baroreceptors or the chemoreceptors to the higher centers. So baroreceptors, we have two types of structures that are responsible, aortic and carotid sinus. See, apart from aortic and carotid sinus, we have some more structures that are the arterial receptors and the ventricular receptors. But these are the main point of discussion usually employed for the regulation of the blood pressure mechanism. And this thing also you should write in your examination. So apart from aortic and carotid sinus, you should know that we have some more receptors, arterial and ventricular receptors are also there. See, aortic, all the structures related to aortic will be carried by the vagus nerve. So either from aortic sinus or aortic body, vagus nerves is responsible for carrying the afferents or the sensory sensations. So for the sensory sensation from the aortic region, we have vagus nerve, and from the carotid region we have the glossopharyngeal or ninth cranial nerve. Ninth cranial nerve. आप साइड में जो डायग्राम दिया हुआ है आप उसमें क्लियरली देख सकते हैं कैसे अफरेंट्स वेगस नर्व और ग्लोसोफेरेंजियल नर्व से हायर सेंटर से और जाते हैं. ठीक है, तो अब देखते हैं बैरोसेप्टर कैसे वर्क करता है, फिर कीमोरेसेप्टर और सीनेस इश्यूम रिस्पॉन्स हम फ्लो चार्ट के फॉर्म में देखेंगे कि कैसे कैसे अगर डिक्रीज या इंक्रीज इन ब्लड प्रेशर होगा तो क्या क्या होता है. सो बैरोसेप्टर्स आर सेंसिटिव टू चेंज इन द प्रेशर. सो आप एक लाइन और स्टेटमेंट और लिख लिखेंगे, सेंसिटिव टू प्रेशर and they are sensitive to chemoreceptors are sensitive to chemical nature of blood. So what I mean by the chemical nature of blood, they are sensitive to pH, that is the hydrogen ion concentration. They are sensitive to PCO2 and PO2, that is the partial pressure of oxygen and carbon dioxide respectively. So these are sensitive to that you have to write full, sensitive to pressure, and they are sensitive to chemical nature of blood, that is the pH, hydrogen concentration, PCO2 and PO2. So what will happen if the blood pressure falls? So suppose if there is fall in blood pressure that lies in the range of 60 to the normal one. Okay, so normal blood pressure is 120/80 mm of mercury. So if there is a fall in blood pressure, then it will lead to the stimulation of baroreceptors. So baroreceptors will be stimulated. So the impulses from baroreceptors will go via 9th and 10th cranial nerve, and they will reach the nucleus of tractus solitarius. The NTS nucleus we have already discussed in the anatomy part. You can have a look on the playlist section and see the various functions of the nucleus tractus solitarius and the nerves responsible for the nucleus location of the different nerves here. So from nucleus tractus solitarius, sensation goes to two places. We have vasodilator area and we have the vasoconstrictor area. So VDA stands for vasodilator area and VCA stands for vasoconstrictor area. So there is fall in blood pressure. We have to make the blood vessel constrict so that the blood pressure may rise. So it will stimulate the vasoconstrictor area and inhibit the vasodilator area. So what will happen because of this? There will be increase in vasomotor tone and decrease in vagal tone. Okay, what I mean by the vasomotor tone, the vasoconstrictor power of the vessels, there will be increase. Why? Because the vasoconstrictor area is activated. So when it is activated, there is increase in vasomotor tone, and when vasodilated area is inhibited, there is decrease in vagal tone. So all this causes the blood pressure return to the normal state. So the blood pressure return to the normal state. So let's recap it once. So there is falling blood pressure, the baroreceptors are activated, sensory fibers go from 9th and 10th cranial nerve, reach to nucleus tractus solitarius. So nucleus tractus solitarius controls two things, vasodilator area and vasoconstrictor area. So if there is fall in blood pressure, we have to constrict the vessels so that blood pressure may rise. So for that, it activates VCA and inhibit vasodilator area. So it stimulates VCA and inhibit vasodilator area. Due to stimulation of vasoconstrictor area, there is increase in the vasomotor tone or the tone of the vessels. So there is the increase in the blood pressure, and due to inhibition of vasodilator area, there is decrease in the vagal tone and the blood pressure returns to the normal state. So what will happen in the chemoreceptors? So one more thing, the opposite will occur if there is an increase in blood pressure. So what will happen if there is increase in blood pressure? Baroreceptors will again be stimulated. Sensory will go from 9th and 10th cranial nerve and reaches the nucleus tractus solitarius. So NTS will make a decision that we have to decrease the blood pressure. So what will do for decreasing the blood pressure? The vessels have to be dilated. So it will stimulate the vasodilator area and inhibit the vasoconstrictor area, and the blood pressure will return to the normal stage. Now what happens to chemoreceptors? If there is increase in PCO2, decrease in PO2 and increase in pH. Sorry, if there decrease in pH, or you can say increase in hydrogen ion concentration, all these things will stimulate the chemoreceptors situated in the aortic and the carotid body, and the sensory afferents will go from the 9th and 10th cranial nerve and they will reach the nucleus tractus solitarius, and accordingly the NTS will send impulses to the vasoconstrictor vasodilator area and the blood pressure return to the normal. So the chemoreceptors work similarly like that of the baroreceptors, but the difference is the sensory impulses travel from the aortic and carotid body via the 9th and 10th cranial nerve. So let's see what happens in the CNS ischemic response, which is also called the last ditch stand. So when the blood pressure falls very low, that is as low as the 15 mm of mercury, this response is activated, last ditch stand. So if there is CNS ischemia due to less blood flow, CNS ischemia, what will happen? There will be CO2 accumulation. In which area? In vasomotor area. Vasomotor. So there will be CO2 accumulation in the VMC, which will stimulate vasomotor center. Stimulation of vasomotor center. There will be stimulation of the VMC, which will cause powerful sympathetic discharge throughout the body. So it will cause stimulation of VMC will cause powerful sympathetic discharge throughout the body, which will cause high heart rate or increase in heart rate, and blood pressure will also increase. So this is how the CNS ischemic response works. So we have discussed the first phase, that was the rapidly acting mechanism or the short-term regulation of the blood pressure.